We all know the feeling. You open a major streaming app, endlessly scroll through rows of algorithm-generated mass appeal content, and realize there is absolutely nothing you actually want to watch. But the alternative, paying yet another monthly subscription fee for a niche streaming service like BritBox, feels like a financial risk. The hesitation usually comes from a specific stereotype. Most of us assume the platform offers nothing but gray sky murder mysteries and stuffy 18th century period pieces. The reality of the library actually comes down to a very different trade-off. It is a choice between accessibility and audacity. When you choose this platform, you give up the warm, easy optimism of mainstream network hits in exchange for programming that is hyper-specific, highly cynical, and structurally surreal. We map the BritBox library across 3 distinct viewer tracks to determine your return on investment. The horizontal axis measures viewing effort and cultural context. The vertical axis measures impact, how much auteur-driven originality the show actually delivers. Understanding where your tastes fall on this specific matrix is the only way to know if this niche ecosystem will become your favorite subscription or a complete waste of $7 a month. Let's test the first track, the alternative comedy fan. This is for the viewer who values high-impact absurdity over relatable sitcoms. The patron saint and primary draw for this specific demographic is Matt Berry, who you likely recognize from What We Do in the Shadows. BritBox holds his flagship series, Toast of London, which operates as the ultimate stress test for your tolerance of British surrealism. These are gag-heavy 20-minute episodes built around bizarre audio cues and driven by protagonists who are deeply cynical and completely unsympathetic. You won't find the comforting, growth-oriented character arcs that anchor American comedy. Nobody learns a lesson and nobody hugs. Digging deeper into the catalog reveals his older work, like Snuffbox and The IT Crowd, which act as foundational texts for modern alternative comedy. Cautionary. The trade-off here is that you have to look past dated production values and tolerate a heavy reliance on deliberate, painful awkwardness. This chart shows exactly how the Matt Berry catalog plots out. It lands in the extreme upper right quadrant. It requires high effort because the humor relies entirely on bizarre audio cues, aggressive slapstick, and dense inside jokes that ask you to keep up. For the surrealist fan, this track alone justifies the cost. But if you want a comforting show, this material will actively repel you. We move to the second track, the cynical satirist. This is for the audience explicitly fatigued by earnest, good vibes programming like Ted Lasso. The prime antidote to that formula is the mockumentary 2026. It offers a weary look at the dysfunctional bureaucracy attempting to manage a massive global sporting event, complete with underpaid workers and clashing celebrity egos. The trade-off is a total absence of optimism. It provides a highly realistic, pessimistic view of overtaxed people just trying to survive the workday. That razor-sharp pessimism applies to other genres here too. Shows like Upstart Crow take historical satire and treat it with the same workplace cynicism. But there is an intellectual barrier to entry. You need a baseline appreciation for literary history to catch the rapid-fire joke density. This matrix shows where the cynical satire's track falls. It lands in the lower right quadrant. It rewards intellectual engagement and realism. However, as a stress-relieving escape at the end of a long day, it fails completely. Our final track is for the prestige drama viewer, and this library divides strictly into 2 extremes, historical escapism and atmospheric true crime. On the escapism side, you have high-budget period pieces like Belgravia and The Other Bennett Sister. The trade-off for these romances is their pacing. You trade high-stakes action for methodical storytelling and dense dialogue focused on class mobility. Pivoting to the dark side of the drama track, you find heavy, atmospheric procedurals like Shetland and Des. Des operates with extreme tonal darkness, anchored by David Tennant's terrifyingly quiet portrayal of a serial killer. The show earns its gravity because it chronicles grim, real-world historical events and the subsequent trial. The trade-off for these procedurals is their psychological weight. They demand emotional endurance and are utterly unsuitable for light weekend binge-watching. This chart shows how the drama subtracks finalize our board. Period escapism lands in the lower left, and true crime sits in the upper left. Reviewing the completed matrix, you can see exactly how widely the required effort and emotional impact vary depending on your genre. The drama library demands an appetite for either meticulous slow-burn romance or extreme psychological darkness. You will not find a middle ground for generic network procedurals here. The analysis points to one conclusion. BritBox offers high-friction, high-reward television that refuses to cater to passive viewing habits. To make your final decision, we can run your preferences through a binary checklist, the BritBox Fit Test. First, you must actively prefer cynicism and sarcasm over earnest optimism. Second, you must prioritize sharp writing and dialogue over big-budget CGI and action set pieces. Third, you must be willing to give the screen your full attention, rather than using it as background noise. If you just want a comfortable show that you can safely dual screen while mindlessly folding the laundry, keep your money. But if you passed that test, your fatigue with algorithmic television is justified, and this platform provides a solution. The rewards are uncompromising auteur-driven visions, deeply weird comedy, and meticulous period dramas. Subscribing to this niche ecosystem is a deliberate rejection of the middle-of-the-road streaming formula. It demands more from its audience, but if you fit the profile, it offers one of the highest returns on investment in entertainment today.